Thank you, Dr. Tamer. A very nice and educative presentation. I really like your exams very much. They are very simple and direct. I'm learning a lot, really. There are different philosophies in the patenting around the world. Some people they say that the patent office, the USA, is a little bit lousy. They give patents, they allow more, claims, other than other patent offices like in Europe. But the philosophy about that is that there is a practice that you can kill a patent. You can kill a patent. How? When you search exactly after, if the patent is really very successful, so many people will try to mimic, to infringe and these things. And if really it's infringing or it's not really novel, those people will look for the prior art and they will bring the prior art and kill the patent. So the USA, they say that the possibility of make a patent to succeed is about 2%, let's say 10%. So let it go, and it will benefit the social environment. But if it's really infringing and it's not right, you can't kill it. There was an example for a pharmaceutical trade secret that one of the European companies brought a new medicine, and they didn't like to have a patent. They wanted to make it a secret. So what did they do? It can be reverse engineered, but they have a risk that nobody will do this. They went to Mongolia and they published an article in a very small journal, and they kept it there with them. Somebody came, another company, and made a patent for that, and they brought this in a different language, translated, and they said this is not novel, and it was published at this time by us. So it was killed. Even this other company got the patent, So they reserved their rights. Now it's time for questions. I think this nice presentation will raise a lot of questions. So please, if you have any questions, come on. لحظة، عليكم السلام. احنا بنبدأ عندنا هنا، بعدين نرجع لكم إن شاء الله. تفضل. تفضل.
Thank you very much for a very nice presentation. I have 2 or 3 questions. First thing, you said about American patent, US patent, and European patent. And in addition, there is something called international global patent. Now, which is best for me? Maybe the one of the papers that you have referred is mine. I have done some 7 patents, maybe many of them know. Which is faster, which is better from an inventor's point of view? US patent or European patent?
For you, patenting actually is looking, as said in the first beginning of this workshop, we were talking about patenting is if you are looking to how to then enforce this patent. Where can you enforce this patent? How can you market this patent? So if you have an invention that can be applied, for instance, in Europe, you have to protect in Europe. If something marketing it just only in the Middle East, you have to protect in the Middle East. So if you have something that can be sold worldwide, you have to select most of the patents office that you can see your market share will go there. So there is no patent better than other patents. This is nothing
No, in this case, in our university, most of the patents are done in US. Then we look for some entrepreneurs to take up in US. Somebody can do it in Europe or somebody can duplicate in Saudi Arabia. Is it possible? Or in that case, why don't we make it a global patent, international property, so that we are safe? Anybody, anywhere in the world should not duplicate my invention.
First of all, if you
Is there
publish,
any limitation?
no. If you patent anywhere, it will be protected. If it is the same patent, you cannot, as I said in the prior art, all patents offices are connected to each other in a database. So nobody can mimic the same patent unless the examiner couldn't see these references. But if you try to protect any in the all globe, you have to patent in each local patents offices. In Europe, you have one patent office, but you have to select countries that you can patent in. So this will cost a lot of money, and if there is no reason for that, it's just a waste of money.
Okay.
سمحوا لنا الاخوات عندنا هنا بس مداخله فاسمحوا شوي. تفضل دكتور مهندس.
شكرا. As a strategy for an inventor seeking probably global protection for his invention, definitely this is a very costly endeavor. Therefore, I recommend the following strategy. First of all, you look at the market of concern to you. If it is the US, then you file with the US Patent Office. Then you have 1 year to file in any other country of concern, for example, France, Germany, or what have you, or even Saudi Arabia. So you have 12 months from the date of the first filing to file another application belatedly on the anniversary of filing in any other country of concern. So the best strategy probably for an inventor to protect his invention between brackets globally is to make sure that he practices the invention immediately after publication of the patent. Okay, so because the patent or the invention stays secret until it is published as a granted patent. So during this period, probably you have to take the necessary measure to launch the product or publish the idea immediately after the publication of the patent, and therefore it becomes part of the prior art. So anybody trying to patent your invention in any other jurisdiction cannot do so because your invention is already in the prior art.
Okay. Thank you. Now we go to the ladies section. So please, just one question and we'll come back to you. أخوات عندكم سؤال؟ سمعوني؟
السلام عليكم.
أهلا.
ايوه تسمعونا؟
أي نسمعكم. تفضلوا.
ايوه. My name is Nada Al-Rabi'a. I am assistant professor in early childhood education, college of education. How about the humanities new ideas which works well inside the classroom? Like I have few strategies that teachers are really happy with. I wrote articles about research about them, and they are working well for classroom management. How about them? Where we register? I asked everywhere. Nobody could tell me exactly where to register them, or I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's like a patent, but there must be something for humanities methods. You know, like there is a famous method called the 6 hats. It's all famous all around the world, and we can do like this strategies. Where do we register them? In the Ministry of Culture, مدينة الملك عبد العزيز للعلوم والتقنية. This is my question.
Thank you.
Could anybody tell me?
Usually this stuff is usually as copyright, so you can do it with the assistance of King Fahd Library. So you cannot patent stuff like that because it does not satisfy all the conditions that we talked about in the last lecture. Because it has to have industrial application for this. So this also will exclude the algorithms and stuff like that in this because of computer science. It will all be also the same thing.
شكرا دكتور. أي أسئلة هنا في القاعة؟ تفضل. آخر واحد معك. إذا سمعت اسمك وسلم بنفسك.
السلام عليكم. I'm Ziad Abdulwahid from Sustainable Energy Center. I'm a PhD student in electrical department. I'd like Dr. Samer to comment about the importance of time in dealing with the patents. Once anyone applied for a patent application in the university, what is the importance of time in dealing with this application before applying it for outside?
Well, did you apply before? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Usually we file in the US within 1 month or 2 months max. So, but in our program, it doesn't take more than 2 weeks to handle. So, first we ask the attorney in the US to assess it to see is it promising, can it be patentable or not. This will take between 2 to 4 weeks from his working time. So this we have no control on that. But as far as in our program, we can access it within 2 weeks. So for you as a researcher, we ask you just to wait until we file it, because after that there is a drafting that might take also 2 to 6 weeks, depends on how many times we go to attorney and come back to you and stuff like that. But after we file, we will get numbers, so you are free to publish or try to publish in any ISI journal or any journal that you are thinking of publishing in.
شكرا دكتور. بالنسبة للأخوات عندكم سؤال؟ عندكم سؤال أخوات ولا ما في شيء؟ طيب ناخذ سؤال هنا من عند تفضل أستاذ.
Thank you very much for this very nice lecture. Just I want to ask you mentioned that industrial application is essential part of and criteria for patenting something. Yeah, that means if I invented or I describe mechanism of action of some drug or like that, it is not patented.
Like a mechanical mechanism?
Yeah, if you describe some mechanism how this drug did the effect or how this side effect happening in biological system, like in any molecular. This is related, related to any drug, how this drug exerts its effect. Okay, you describe this mechanism in details in biological system, either in human or like that.
Is this new drug or
No, it is
the same?
suppose it's new or suppose it already exists. This drug is already exist, but you came up with something new. Nobody had an idea about how this drug is effect. But industrial application is not applicable here. So you got my point?
Yeah, I got your point, but
Medication.
you made medication, but it's already
Medication, huh?
Yeah.
You say because maybe this medication was supposed to treat something, but you discover that it can't.
Yeah, it can be
Treat something else.
through this way, like this.
Do you have any?
Or let me give another example. Like there are some drugs already exist in the market, but it has some side effect. Okay, but nobody had an idea how this drug can do this effect, and you came up with like you made an experiment and did some work like this, and you describe in details how this drug that is effect. Thank you.
I would guess no, right? Maybe second thought. Because usually this would be studied thoroughly by the attorney. But I would think no, right? Do you have any?
So, يعني
What's the mechanism of medication?
هذا يعني الاكتشاف ده حبينا نسميه اكتشاف هو من قبيل ما يتوصل إليه رجل المهنة العادي في مجال التقنية. بمعنى آخر أن ما قد يتوصل إليه باحث بشأن التأثيرات الجانبية للدواء ما قد يتوصل إليه باحث آخر في مكان آخر. لذلك يعتبر من قبيل ما يمكن أن يتوصل إليه بتعريف القانون رجل المهنة العادي، أي الرجل الباحث الآخر في نفس المجال، يعتبر ما يمكن أن يتوصل إليه رجل المهنة العادي في ممارسة الطبيعية للعمل.
الشرط الثاني
لا اللي هو هنا بنتحدث عن عدم بديهية الاختراع. بمعنى آخر يجب أن لا يكون الاختراع بديهيا، بمعنى أنه لا يمكن لرجل المهنة العادي المتخصص في مجاله أن يتوصل إليه بالممارسة العادية للعمل. فلذلك لا أعتقد أن اكتشاف الآثار الجانبية للدواء ما تدخل في قبيل الاختراع.
شكرا. بقي لنا سؤال واحد ناخذه من الأخوات. عندكم سؤال يا أخوات؟ تفضلوا.
لا ما في.
طيب شكرا.
نحتاج شوي.
السلام عليكم.
أهلا.
Gamra Al-Qahtani, PhD student in the College of Pharmacy. Just want to ask about what determines the time to get the patent after applying for it, and how much does it take to get it?
Well, it depends on how many office actions, how novel this patent. If it's really breakthrough, new invention, usually, I mean, we have a lot of cases that is within 6 to 8 months that we got it. I showed some examples today, but some of the other patents have features that can be similar or somewhat similar to other in the prior art. So this will take some office actions that delay the issuance time. So usually the average time that we have now is between 1 to 1.5 years for most of the patents. But some patents may take more time, so 2 to 3 years. But as I said, most of the patents that we have takes a time between 1 to 1.5 years in the US. So the patent office maybe takes longer because they have a slower process in examining the patents.
Okay, during this period, shall I wait? يعني not publishing.
No.
Not publishing the.
Just no. We just after we file, you will get a pending number, a number that shows that this is your pending application. So, or the filing date. It shows the filing date and number of the patent office we filed there. So after that, we say to each researcher, now you can publish or try to contact any journal that you want to publish in.
Okay. I have another question, if you give me the time, please. Just I want to raise the same point as one of the audience asked about the changing the practice. I'm having idea of the drug that's already exists in the market, but I would like to change the practice. For example, using it for another disease, not the one it was developed for. So will this act or will be as a patent? Can I consider it patent?
You mean it's a different use?
Yeah, different use, changing the practice and
Yeah.
using for
Okay.
other disease.
Yeah, I would think yes, but you have to show all the processes that shows you that you're doing new, invention. So you have to do the schemes that for all the processes that shows you with the chemical composition, how these processes are conducted. If you have lab results, this will help more convincing the examiner that this is a new technique or new ideas. So as I say, the novelty, you have to show the addition, that this will be this addition that you put, and the inventive step, you have to show that this will produce new applicable results. So after that, it depends on the examiner. Is he convinced or not? Or is he or she convinced that this is a new, have satisfied all the 3 other conditions?
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for your
Okay, thank
nice and really educative, good presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.